Welcome to the Lifting Lounge podcast. Join your hosts, Josh Parkin and Jack Buffery, as they give you the knowledge and the tools to take your physical and mental performance to the next level.
Hi, Josh.
Hello.
I am a robot.
I am a robot. Yeah. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I am good. Guys, before we get into today's episode, I was going to go over quickly what we're talking about. Today's tip is about making stuff convenient, and then we're going into our current news section, which is all about the UK's inactivity crisis and how it can be tackled. In Fit Talk today, we talk about who we would have as a celebrity client. In Study Time, we're talking about an exercise-mimicking drug. You can imagine what my response would be to that, I expect. And the hot topic is, what is the difference between a workout and a workout program? Because I forget, coming from a position as a PT, some people don't actually know what the difference is between a workout and a workout program. So I thought we'd highlight some differences there just to give you a bit of input. And guys, if you want to join the community, head over to the Lifting Lounge group. It's a Facebook group. And if you want to get involved with our style of training, then go sign yourself up for the RDA app. It is incredibly valuable and doesn't cost very much money either. Head over to therdsystem.com to see what that's all about. But other than that, Josh, what's going on?
Mate, I just watched the first. Well, I watched half of it last night and the rest this morning. I watched the first episode of Gen V from The Boys, and I tell you what, it's just as fucked up as The Boys is. I was not expecting it. Oh yeah, mate, it's mental. Yeah, it's really good.
I still haven't caught up with The Boys yet. We actually started watching it, but I don't think we've even finished season 2 yet. How many seasons are out of The Boys?
3.
3. 4's not far behind, though, is it? I don't think 4's
No, it's
far
not
away.
far now. No.
Okay, and does V fit in between 3 and 4, or is it kind of its own timeline, or where does that fit in?
I think it's set after 3. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
so
100%
it will tie
sure.
into the same kind of
Yeah.
timeline then, right? Interesting.
Yeah. Same kind of timeline, but it is good, man. It's good so far. And it's classic. I mean, I've already seen 2 penises, so you know.
Well, it sounds like your ideal program. That's great. So, hold on. I just want to make sure it's come through the right audio. Yeah, it is. We're good. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I've been just watching. So I've been a bit nostalgic recently, and I was looking for something to watch a few months ago, and I thought, oh, I'm going to pop on the first episode of Smallville. And now, 5 seasons later, I'm still watching it. So there's 10 seasons of Smallville altogether. And I
Oh
forgot
Jesus!
how, yeah, there's loads. I forgot how good this program is. And it's really good. And there's like, it's got a really nostalgic soundtrack for people who were born in like the 80s, 90s, because it's all early 2000s kind of music. So it's got some like stuff from back then, like the teenage years for me. So it's actually really good. And me and Kimberly are currently watching the Clone Wars cartoon together as well, which is quite cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I never got through all of Smallville. I used to love watching it as a kid, but I think it was just when it was on TV. I never like watched it specifically, you know, as a series. But I did really enjoy it. It is really, really good.
It's good. The Luthor relationship in that, I think he's the best Lex Luthor that's ever been on screen, and the relationship he has with his dad, I think, is probably one of the best origin stories for a villain that I've ever seen. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
so
definitely.
good.
It's really good. But Jack, sometimes my tip just struggles with the inconvenience of things. You know, it's just like there's stuff in the way, or you just weird angle. You know, and I'm just like, sometimes you just want it to be nice and convenient, so the tip can just do its job. You know, instead of all this crazy stuff you see in these random books. And I just like, yeah. Oh, what can you do to help my tip be as convenient as it possibly can? Because I'm just fed up of all this weird shit. You know what I mean? I just want straight, easy work for my tip.
Well, if you're talking about convenience as in snack size, you're already ahead on that front, so you're okay. But one thing I am going to say is, when did we stop? Where were we
I don't know.
ever? Were we ever clever with double entendres and ambiguity when it came to these tip introductions? Because now there is nothing else that we're referring to apart
No,
from, yeah, okay, I'm just making sure.
I don't know. I actually
Yeah,
don't know because it did change, didn't it? It did
yeah,
change.
it definitely, yeah, it could have been like anything, but now there's definitely one thing we could be talking about. So, just so we have something for the socials, ladies and gentlemen, today's fit tip, just a tip, is make as much stuff as convenient as you can. That is the tip for today. So, what do I mean by this, guys? I mean, you're always going to come up with struggles, hardships, problems, all of that stuff in life. So why not make everything else as convenient for yourself as possible? And this actually came to my mind when I was talking to a client about possible breakfast foods. So I said to him, one of the things I used to do was I used to grate up a load of sweet potato, mix it with a load of mince and herbs, a couple of eggs, and make little patties out of it, basically. So a whole pack of mince and a couple of sweet potatoes could do like a shitload of these things, and each one was over 30 grams of protein per patty. And you can freeze them and take them out as needed. For a little bit of time taken, that gives you a massive amount of convenience, and that saves any questions about breakfast. You can just take a couple out. You could even probably put them in the toaster, I would have thought, but I don't know about dripping. But anyway, I used to do them in an air fryer. You could definitely do them in a grill, and that is one area of convenience. So because of that little bit of time taken, I saved so much time prepping food when I was in a rush. And this is the same format that we have when it comes to like things like scheduling as well. For a little bit of time taken, when you schedule everything in, it makes your life as convenient as you possibly can. Same as grabbing a protein shake, same as anything like that. Make as many conveniences in your life as possible, so that way when you need to do the things that should be challenging, whether mentally or physically, you don't feel already depleted because you haven't fought the things that can easily be organized through.
Mm. Yeah, I mean the biggest one, isn't it? Like you said, is always food. It's always meal prepping, getting your
Hmm.
food ready, having it done so you don't have to think about it on a busy day. Planning your week for that as well. So a lot of people go, "Yeah, I'm going to meal prep," but then they try and meal prep on a day where they're really, really busy because they didn't actually schedule that week. So
Hmm.
it's going right, scheduling everything. So I know on this day I'm going to do this because it's going to provide me with more time to do this on the other day. That's that's what it is. Scheduling isn't going, I'm being too organized with my life and I'm not living a life. No, it's actually creating time for you to be more organized in your life. And stuff like simple things like having a pint of water ready in the fridge in the morning, maybe, so you
Hmm.
know that you're going to drink it when you first get up. Having things put in places so that you're never going to forget it when you leave the house. Having things in convenient places, because then it's it's always there and you don't have to worry about it. That's one thing that I we had. So this is completely off the cuff, but it is a really simple thing. Our recycling bin, we have a bin that we put we have a store that we put all our recycling bins in, right? And it used to be behind my garage. And because it was just that little bit further walk to behind the garage, it never got fucking took to behind the garage, and it was always on the kitchen side. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
then I moved the thing to just behind my fence, which is next to the back door. And now there we go. It's so convenient
Straight
now
away.
because I can just go out
Hmm.
there. Yeah, I just go and do it. So it's simple stuff like that. It just makes life that much easier.
So funny you should say something like that to do with the kitchen as well. One of the podcasts I used to listen to, I hardly ever listen to it anymore, to be honest, was Mind Pump. And Adam Schaefer always used to have a tip. He's one of the presenters on that. And he always used to say, when you're filling the cutlery thing on your dishwasher, always put the same things in the relevant thing of it in the relevant like little basket. So whenever you take it out, you can just take it out and put it straight in the drawer.
Yep.
Something as simple as that can just take away 30 seconds of annoyance for your life. And it is so worth it just to do
Yeah.
it just by
Yeah.
doing things the right way first to make it easier. And this is the thing, isn't it? We are creatures of immediate happiness. We want everything to be there and done. But if we can just delay that a little bit and do the harder thing first to make the later bit easier, then we're actually probably going to be happier in the long run. Because we feel almost good about ourselves, so we took the time to do something properly the first time way around, and then
Yeah.
the second time we'll feel better about it again because again would appreciate the time we took to do it because it then makes that second bit more easy. So yeah, when you can make things as convenient as possible, then you're just going to have a little bit less of a stress-free life and you can get more stuff done. And it also means you'll have more willpower to get the more important stuff done because the little bits won't be nagging at you all day.
Exactly that. So that's a great tip, Jack. Make things as convenient as you can. Perfect.
Hell yeah. So let's go on to our first topic of the day, and that is our newly established current news topic. So this is from the 20th of September, which was actually National Fitness Day, and shame on me because I didn't realize this. But as of time of recording, this is like 2 weeks away. As of time of this episode coming out, it's going to be like 3 weeks away. But I'm going to read through bits of this article, not the whole lot because it's quite long. But then, yeah, Josh, I want to get some of your feedback on it because there's a lot of important stuff in here. Yeah, where's the best part to start? So I'm just going to go from the beginning. It's National Fitness Day, a day to highlight the role physical activity plays across the UK. But this year's campaign comes at a pivotal time when the government admits there are stubbornly high levels of inactivity, when gyms, swimming pools, and leisure centres have struggled with running costs and following further falls in the amount of PE and sport being offered in schools. The Department of Culture, Media and Sport, DCMS, recently published a sport strategy, its first for 8 years. It is vowing to drastically improve the nation's health and fitness. Recent years have seen unprecedented challenges for sport and our ability to be active, says Lucy Fraser, DCMS Secretary of State, referring to the pandemic and the cost of living crisis. An unapologetically ambitious target of 1 million more adults and 2.5 million more children to be physically active by 2030 has been set as a part of the government's Get Active initiative. But more than a decade after the London 2012 Games promised to inspire a generation, how realistic is such an aim in such a time frame? How would it be achieved? The latest figures certainly paint a worrying picture. Some 25% of adults are currently deemed to be inactive in England, with more than 11 million doing less than 30 minutes of total activity in a week. Just let that sink in, by the way, guys. Less than 30 minutes of total activity, not in a day, in a week. And that is 11 million people. Okay. Just over 50% of children and young people are not meeting the chief medical officer's guidance of at least 60 minutes of activity a day, with 30% doing less than 30 minutes a day. That's kids, man. Like that's insane. Kids want to move, and we talked about this quite a lot on the last episode about the fact that we are kind of training that out of kids. According to the Sports and Recreation Alliance, the UK now ranks joint 12th out of 15 comparable European nations for levels of physical activity. We need to fucking do better, basically. Meanwhile, NHS statistics from 21 to 22 indicate that almost a quarter of Year 6 children were obese in England, an increase of 3% from the 2 previous years. Last month, the government revealed that there has been a fall of 4,000 hours of PE and sport in state-funded secondary schools in England, and the last academic year, as well as a 12% drop since 2012. It's a matter of immediate national concern, according to the Youth Sport Trust. So this is something I find interesting. New research by Street Games, a charity that aims to transform the lives of young people in low-income communities through physical activity, has found that 2 in 5 of those polled are not taking part in sport because they can't afford it, and that 35% say the cost of living crisis has negatively affected how much they exercise. That makes sense to me. in a way, but it's very, very sad that it makes sense to me. And the problem there is, I guess, finding coaches who can take that up. And Josh, I know this is something like we're both quite passionate about, that we want to kind of make work in the future for underprivileged people. So why does this all matter? The government estimates that every £1 spent on sport and physical activity generates almost £4 in return across health and well-being, strengthening communities and economy. And that each year, active lifestyle prevents 900,000 cases of diabetes and 93,000 cases of dementia, a combined saving of 7 billion to the UK economy. So there's
Jeez.
some pretty freaking big numbers there. So again, active lifestyles present 900,000 cases of diabetes. That's almost a million. So that's absolutely mental. As well as easing the strain on the NHS, it also recognises that physical activity helps tackle a range of social challenges, from loneliness and community division to unemployment and crime. So it goes on to say, sorry, there's like so much more to this. I really want to read the whole lot, if I'm honest, because it is so good. But I will post this in the show notes. But basically, they're asking for investment because they're saying 10 years on from London 2012, we know that inspiration is not enough. We need to make sure everyone has access to free and low cost sporting opportunities. They're saying that they need the government funding to make this happen. The government points to what it calls record investment of also almost 400 million in grassroots facilities, but many in the sector believe that the time has come for provision of physical activity to be upgraded, seen as an essential means of relieving the burden of the NHS. That would enable providers to apply for funding from the Department of Health and Social Care. It's also said PE should become a core national curriculum subject in schools. I kind of agree to that, but not necessarily PE as how I remember it, if I'm completely honest. I
No.
think,
Yeah.
I think the whole thing would have to be revised on that. Policy across health and education does not always align to promote physical activity, it says. In health policy, the Tackling Obesity strategy rightly places a strong focus on food and nutrition, but lacks sufficient acknowledgement of the important role of physical activity. We're seeing that on a shitload of stuff anyway. On the world stage, we are seeing nutrition taking a forefront, which is perfectly fine, but not at the expense of physical activity. Because at the end of the day, if you haven't got a capable and strong body, it doesn't matter how you eat, you're still going to be more susceptible to injury and even death if you haven't got a body that is used to moving. It's saying time is against us. Is this worth going into too much? Achieving change at this scale would be challenging. Delivering on a 2030 target depends on raising awareness of the recommendations and instilling a determination to achieve it across these key audiences and a wider population. But it needs to be married with a strong delivery plans, clear channels of investment coming into the sector, tax and regulatory reform, and the implementation of bold public health plans. This is the moment sports and physical activity can deliver far beyond the limitations of its existing box into supporting our health services and our economy, it says. So I'm not going to go into any more. I will post it's a really interesting article. I'm going to post it up on there, and it paints a hopeful picture if it is taken action on. But it's the same as maybe what we talked about in the last episode. Action has to be taken in the right ways to make any of this viable in the first place. But at least people are becoming aware of this stuff.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Because this is something that the government is going to need to be doing something too. But actually, there's enough PTs and gym instructors out there, right? There's enough PTs and gym instructors out there to be able to help everyone, I think.
Yeah.
I think there is. Like, just in our couple of towns and villages alone, there's fuckloads. You know, there's shitloads of PTs and gym instructors and all of that, all just people that are into exercise. So there's enough. So what is it that those people need? Do they need funding so they can do this? Is that what needs to happen? Do the governments need to fund these PTs, or is it a case of we need to just start taking action ourselves and taking this into our own hands? Because I know it's tough, and it's like, yes, a lot of like, yes, we need to make money and we need to make a living, but can we trust the government to actually do the right thing here, or is it a case of, screw them, I'm gonna just try and fix as many people as I can? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this does come up with the problem, doesn't it,
Mm,
of making a living, because
mm,
let's face it, a lot of PTs struggle to make ends meet
mm.
as it is, and the argument could be made, yeah, but by getting yourselves out there, you're probably going to get more clients anyway. But let's disregard that for a second. Let's disregard that people are doing it just to market their stuff. It's hard to tell someone who's earning 30, 40, 50 pound an hour to go do something for free for 2 or 3 hours a day. It's hard to
Yeah,
do it. Even worse if they're earning £20 an hour, so they can't really afford to take the time off to do these things as well. Do you know what I mean? It is
yeah.
really hard, but you're right. You're 100% right. If we could have like a mass gathering of PTs, that would just be like, right, yeah, let's all get out and see if we can do 1 hour in our community once a week or something like that. That would be better than nothing.
Yeah, 100%. And then, like, just to try and do something to get out there and help people. I mean, to be honest, we spoke about this literally like yesterday and today, and this is something I plan on doing myself as part, something I think is a good thing. So, once a week, I'm going to do a free community workout just on the beach near us, and it's going to be no kit. It's just going to be me and a whiteboard. I'm going to write the workout out. I'm going to do the workout myself, and if people want to come and join in, and people want to get some advice out of there, fucking great, wonderful. And now there's enough ways of communicating now that you can get it out there. You know what I mean? I can just put it on Facebook, put a flyer out, and just go, look, come along, come and train. And I think it's not affecting me in any way other than I'm going to be training. I'm getting a workout in. Come and join me. That's all it is. And I'm happy. Like, how often do we give our information away for free? I mean, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah,
You know
we
what I
do
mean?
it multiple hours a week. Yeah.
Yeah. And people ask me all the time, "Oh, how do I do this?" And I'll tell them. It's no secret. I'm like, "Oh, fuck
Yeah.
it." You could Google it. So yeah, I'll tell you. But why not? We all train. You know what I mean? We all go to the gym. Anybody's a PT trains. So
Yeah.
why not just train and allow people to be there with you and to educate them on that? So I'm gonna try and lead the charge in a sense and fucking put my money where my mouth is, and do that. But also I am aware of the fact that I'm only one guy, and yes, PTs can only do so much, and the government, yes, need to fucking do something, but they need to do it the right way and not do it in the standard government way when pull out some bullshit plan that's not really going to do anything, and actually put it in the hands of the people that know what they're doing. Put it in the hands of the PTs and say, right, we're going to get all the expert PTs in all these areas and put a plan together for them to help people, because they're the ones that fucking know what they're doing.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does say somewhere on this article about coaches and the lack of them. Where is that? She says authorities must tackle the lack of qualified sports coaches and instructors, ensuring swimming pools stay open and that children of all backgrounds are able to learn to swim. And yeah, as well as swimming, it also means everything else in my eyes. It should be everyone should be able to join in something somewhere
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah, definitely.
And not only should be able to, but should be encouraged to.
100%.
So yeah, I like the voice behind this, but again, nothing's going to happen if action isn't taken. So yeah, it does say here. I like it kind of pokes fun at the UK a little bit. In nations famous for inventing many of the world's favourite sports, how can it be a Premier League footballers are bought and sold for tens of millions of pounds while local authorities spend an average of just £156 per young person, it asks. Why is it that a nation that can proudly host elite international sporting events to the tune of $9 billion allow its own
Jesus.
local facilities, clubs and youth centres to fall into disrepairs? Such debate comes at the end of another landmark summer for elite sporting, one that will be remembered for a bunch of stuff that's happened this year. But the decade since London's 2012 Olympics has proved that inspiration in the form of titles, medals, and the staging of great events can do only so much. And I think, that's something we talked about last year as well. These people are so revered on the global stage that people think it's just a million miles away. Embedding physical activity as part of people's lives and harnessing such success in order to bring about a healthier and happier nation remains a challenge. And as the country wrestles with record NHS waiting lists and continues to recover from the impact of the pandemic, the sense is that the need to do so has rarely been greater. Again,
This is it, and it's
Yeah.
that community thing we were talking about last week,
Mhm.
last podcast. It's a community thing. There isn't that. It's
No, not at all.
like the famous, like us being in Cornwall, famous thing the Cornish people say is one and all. One and all. We're in this together. Our thing in rugby, right? If one of us got in a fight, it used to be one in, all in. If one of us is getting in a fight, everybody fucking run in there and do something.
Mhm.
So, but that isn't really a thing now. This whole community aspect isn't a thing. This one, everybody looking after each other, everybody doing the right thing. And if it is, it's kind of done in the wrong way. Like, let's all go get fucking pissed rather than let's all go list some shit and look after each other. So we need to start bringing that back.
Communism.
Yeah. Hippie commune, not just one big hippie commune instead. Oh yeah, why not?
Good. So one of the things I really appreciated about my time in China was just seeing that every morning before all the lessons started, all the kids would be out on the playground doing some sort of physical exercise for about 10-15 minutes. I really
Great.
liked that. It is like starting the day with actual movement. I thought that was just an incredible way to be.
Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely brilliant.
Let's make a change, Josh. Let's make a change. Okay.
Well, I'm going to do it.
Gonna do it. My next topic. Let's move on to the fit talk now, shall we? And I have a simple question for you. Who would you like to have as a celebrity client?
That's it's very tough because do I want somebody who I can transform?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want somebody who is just cool as fuck? Do I want somebody that I know will put the work in? So what's he called? Ethan. We've talked about him before.
Ethan Suplee?
Yeah, Ethan Suplee. Yeah, he'd be great client. He'd be great. Just because like he's he's going to put the work in and he's passionate about it. Or do I want somebody that is going to be a challenge and I can change their life because maybe they're really out of shape? I don't like Danny DeVito. You know what I mean?
Yes. How cool would that be? That'd
Exactly.
be amazing.
You know what I mean? Or do I just want somebody I'm going to get along with? Somebody's funny. Imagine training Dawn French. That'd be well fun.
That would be hilarious. Oh, she lives down here, so just go knock on her door.
Yeah. She actually knows one of my clients, but
Is she? Nice.
Yeah. Well,
I
sure.
can guess who, to be fair, as well, in that respect. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Celebrity client. Or do I want somebody who, because sometimes it is nice people who can do like high level shit, Jake Gyllenhaal, I think he's jacked, but
He is jacked.
he's like cool jacked. Like him and Tom Hardy are just like cool jacked. You know what I mean? Like, they're pretty awesome. Oh, it's
hard, isn't it? It is hard when you try and really think down. So what my mind is going to on this, and I haven't actually got anyone in my head yet, I'm not gonna lie, but where my mind is going is like, who has, so sometimes you see this with clients, and I can think of a couple of politicians like it actually, but I wouldn't want to train them. Who has a good frame that would just instantly change them straight away. Yeah, one of the ones that comes to my head, and it's not because of his frame, to be fair, it's more because of what he's been in the news for recently, and that is, oh god, his name's just gone completely from my head. Lewis Capaldi. I would like to train him just to help. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be amazing to see the transformation in his head, because he obviously struggles so much with that sort of stuff. I think that would be amazing. But yeah, I think that'd be great just to have that. And then you get some bigger guys as well. There's a I don't know what his name is. There is a Liverpudlian, I think, comedian that keeps on popping up on my reels, and he's out of shape. He's like typical dad bod guy, but I know for a
Mm,
full on fact that I can train him and get him absolutely ripped because he's got
yeah,
that, that shape that some
yeah,
men just
yeah,
carry
yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
can get absolutely jacked up. And another one I
Mm.
reckon would also be able to get really jacked. And this is going to sound a bit strange, but oh shit, what's his name as well? What's the Irish comedian who used to present Mock the Week?
Oh, Dara Bryan.
Yeah, I reckon he would be able to get strong and jacked. I'd like
Mm,
to train him.
yeah,
That'd be good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, Greg Davies.
Yeah, imagine that. That would be insane. Just
Yeah,
having to
yeah,
be an
yeah.
Adonis. I reckon he'd get grumpy as hell though, and just say, "Oh
Oh,
no,
yeah, and I bet
fuck
he's got a
this."
bad back or something as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably that would be even
y-
more of a good challenge. But yeah,
yeah.
I'm just curious, like who would be cool. And so when I was young, when I first became a PT, actually, one of the podcasts I listen to all the time is a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, and
Mm,
he had a PT that basically traveled the world with him at any given time. And, this is quite a common thing. And I was like, oh my God, how cool would that be? And he was never went for a transformation or anything, but he was kept healthy. He was kept with that accountability by his PT. So it'd be like, yeah, also you would have to do that. You would have to travel the world with them. And it's like you see transformations like people like J.K. Simmons when he was in the Justice League film and in something else. And he just transformed completely too. And
mm.
it's so possible for everybody. I was like, it's an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, I had a client. She was training her in person, and then she went. She had to go. I think she had to go to the. I think it might have been the Bahamas to be a tutor in the Bahamas for people who are on holiday or something. You know, rich families. They just whatever. And she was there at this place, and apparently, while she was there, because I was training her while she was there. Um, Justin Bieber was there, like all of these celebrities, and she was like, "I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just here tutoring this kid, and there's celebrities everywhere." And she's training. I was like, "Jesus Christ, why didn't you ship me out there? Why didn't you
Mm,
just take me with you?"
how cool would that have been? Oh,
Yeah,
I
that would
know
have been
who,
epic.
actually. After watching his thing on YouTube, and if any other PTs who are worth their salt watch this thing as well, and they probably wanted to just hammer their head against the nearest wall, and that was Will Smith. I would love to take Will Smith through a 16-week transformation. Did you see his YouTube TV program? Oh god.
No.
Now I'm pretty sure. So basically, it was on the lead up to his 50th birthday. He wanted to get in the best shape possible for his 50th birthday.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not going to blame his PT for this because I reckon most of this was done for like the drama and for
yeah.
the dramatic element. But they were judging purely by the scale weight, nothing else, and it was
Hmm.
just ridiculous. It was watching this thing, and it was like stressing Will Smith out. It was just getting insane. But I think he would actually be a really good one because I reckon you could get him in fantastic shape relatively easy. He's got the frame for it.
And he was before, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, look at him in Ali. He put on a load of muscle. Obviously, you don't know if that was he wasn't like ripped, jacked kind of thing, but he big. Whether he used anything supplemental for that, we don't know because it can be used to get puffy and big as well as like ripped and big. And then he carried that over a little bit into what was it? I think it was iRobot he done after that. He was still kind of, he was still fair size in that as well. But yeah,
What
his
was he
first
like in
bulk was for
Hancock?
Ali. I can't remember. He was definitely in goodish shape, but he played like an alcoholic superhero, so probably not in
Yeah,
like in the best shape. And then I think he'd leaned out by the time like I Am Legend was out and stuff like that. But yeah, Ali was the. I read, I audio booked his biography, and yeah, he had to put on a ridiculous amount of weight to play Ali, and that's the first
yeah.
like transformation he went through.
I mean, what to play Muhammad Ali?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at that because
Don't
Ali wasn't
tell me
big.
you haven't seen that.
No, man, I haven't seen a lot of stuff. Ali wasn't that big, was it? Oh wow, yeah, he is
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
big in that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Compared to what he was, so if you now see look what he looked like in Bad Boys, and compare
yeah,
Bad Boys Will Smith to Ali Will Smith, there is a
yeah.
massive difference.
Mm.
And yeah, he had to put on a fair bit of weight for that.
Oh wow. Well, there you
Hmm.
go.
Ali is a great film, man. You'd love it. It's really, really good. Well worth a watch.
Yeah, I need to watch it. There you go.
There you go.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm going to pick Will Smith. That's going to be my one.
Oh, I'm going to pick Danny DeVito.
Yes, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, let's move on to study time anyway.
Mm.
Time for Jack to get annoyed. Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
I love
That's
this
what everyone
bit.
loves.
It's my favorite bit.
Study time. The headline of today's study time is Exercise-mimicking drug sheds weight, boosts muscle activity in mice. A new drug encourages weight loss and increases endurance by making the body act like it is exercising. Enough said. I don't need to read any more of the article. Go fuck yourself. So this is from September 25th. This is from the University of Florida. Just go exercise. A brand new kind of a brand new kind of drug tested in mice shows promising new results that could lead to the development of new weight loss drugs that mimics exercise. The new compound, developed and tested by a University of Florida professor of pharmacy and his colleagues, leads obese mice to lose weight by convincing the body's muscles that they are exercising more than they really are, boosting the animal's metabolism. It also increases endurance. I like this bit, to be fair. It also increases endurance, helping mice run nearly 50% further than they could before, all without the mice lifting a paw. The drug belongs to a class known as exercise-mimetics, which provides some of the benefits of exercise without increasing physical activity. The new treatment is in the early stages of development, but could one day be tested in people to treat diseases like obesity, diabetes, and age-related muscle loss. The research comes as drugs like Ozempic have provided a breakthrough in reducing appetite, helping treat these metabolic diseases. I have my reservations about Ozempic, but I'm not going to get into that now. But the new drug known as this has got a really catchy name. The new drug known as SLUPP332 doesn't affect appetite or food intake, nor does it cause mice to exercise more. Instead, the drug boosts a natural metabolic pathway that typically responds to exercise. In effect, the drug makes the body act like it is training for a marathon, leading to increased energy expenditure and faster metabolism of fat in the body. This compound is basically telling skeletal muscle to make the same changes you see during endurance training, said Thomas Burris, a professor of pharmacy at UF who led the recent research into the new drug. Sorry, Josh, if I set you off a little bit there.
It's SLUPP 32332. SLUPP 332 is a great drug.
It is, it's the best.
Child.
Basically, what I'm seeing in here with some of the other drugs that are out on the market, and I reckon there's going to be a drug cocktail that comes out within the next 5 years once this goes through human trials. I reckon there's going to be a drug cocktail that is that thing that we've been talking about for a long time, which is that most popular drug that the world has ever seen. I think this is all leading to that. And I'm going to get political here as well. This is where we're going to see the current narrative of popular media speech change from it's not going to be love at any size anymore. It's going to be because God, this is getting more political than what I thought. Sorry, but because pharmaceutical companies have so much funding in news media outlets, we're going to see the narrative change in the next 5 years. And quote me on that, it's going to happen. We're going to see it change to stuff that's saying, love your body, get skinny and jacked with this drug instead of lifting weights.
Yeah.
Now, look, if you have got a disease, if you've got some type of metabolic disease that this drug could help, then yes, wicked, take it. But you know full well that 90% of the people who take something like this, all they should actually be doing is getting up off their ass and exercising. They've got nothing holding them back from doing those things. They're going to be, there's probably going to be 10% of the people, they need this because it's a life or death situation. But the lessons learned from getting your ass up and actually doing stuff anyway are so profound that that's where the real benefits come from, in my mind. So drugs like this, I think, are actually going to de-evolve us in terms of what we learn through exercising, which is why I think they should be very tightly controlled. But when you look at what the profit margin is going to be on them, it's going to be fucking just insane.
Well, I mean, I think that's it, isn't it? Because there's people that are severely obese and need to lose weight, or they're going to die, and exercise probably isn't like exercise. Yes, is going to help, but right now is not feasible due to sheer size or whatnot. Then
Hmm.
yes, they fucking need something like this, right?
Yeah.
They need something like this where they can lose weight and maybe keep muscle mass or gain muscle mass, whatever. Great, but that needs to be coupled. That needs to be coupled with an education process
Yes,
on
exactly.
training. It needs to be both. Yeah, it can't be just one and the other. And like you said, it needs to be tightly restricted. If actually you have the full capacity to be able to get up and do exercise and eat healthily, then that needs to be the first prescription, but not just the prescription, not just the thing going, you need to train 3 days a week and eat healthy. It's going, right, you need to come, you are now scheduled into these educational meetings, these educational trainings on how to do this. You are scheduled into this training X amount of weeks. Your prescription is you're getting it and you're doing it. And if you do everything and it does not work, then okay, you can have this drug, right? It's the same with, it's one of my biggest fucking hates with, it's the same with mental health, right? And yes, some people need medication. However, the GPs are very quick to give medication over
Hmm.
counseling or other help for mental health,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes the medication can make you worse, right?
Hmm.
So it, instead of going and getting to the root cause of the problem, they're just throwing medication at it. So yes, I do completely agree that this advancement in medication is great for the people that need it. However, the right course of action should be taken first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the metaphor I use for something like what you just said, when it comes to psychiatry versus psycho, whatever they called, the drug side of it. Why can't I think of that word? What's it when you psycho something when it comes to drugs? I can't remember
Yeah, I know what you're
yeah,
saying. I've lost it as well. I
but
don't know.
it's the same basically as if you're taking ibuprofen so you can go lift some heavy weights because you're hurt, your back's hurting, but you still want to go
Mm,
deadlift. So you take some ibuprofen so you can go deadlift. It's like that same thing. You're not healing the problem at all. You're masking it for a little while, so you're probably going to fuck yourself up even more. So
mm.
now the interesting thing about this is what I would love to speak to someone who does the studies. Like one day, hopefully, we're going to have enough clout to be actually reach out to these people as well because it says here that where is it? So Ozempic that I think limits people's hunger pangs. But this
Hmm.
new one, it doesn't affect appetite or food intake. And it doesn't actually cause the mice to exercise more. Instead, the drug boosts a natural metabolic pathway that typically responds to exercise. In effect, the drug makes the body act like it is training for a marathon, leading to increased energy expenditure and faster metabolism of fat in the body, which is fine because like we know that the body will typically favor carbs and fats over muscle as a source of fuel, but that's going to require a lot of manipulation to make sure that muscle isn't taken out as well on the front of that, because me and you know that endurance training isn't the optimal way to lose
Mm.
fat because you should be
No.
building the muscle first. So the
Yeah.
mitigations there, as long as it doesn't take anything from the muscle mass, at the end of the day, it's going to be looking for energy. So yeah, there's going to be an abundant fat and carbohydrate source probably. So as long as that is all right, but it's one of those things. If it's not trialed properly, then maybe it could cause more problems than it could solve.
And this is also a problem, right? So it's not actually it's not tackling the problem of appetite and
Mm-mm.
consuming too much food. Yeah, it's not tackling that problem. All it's doing is making you burn more energy. Well, it's not
Yeah.
stopping you from putting energy in you, so it's not stopping you from eating more. And if you're burning more energy and it's not reducing hunger, are you not just going to be more hungry? You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's the other
you,
thing, isn't it? Yeah.
you know what I mean? Whereas
Mm.
the other drug that's had been in a lot of news lately is the semaglutide,
Hmm.
which it does the opposite, and it just reduces your hunger, and has shown to have quite good effects in terms of weight loss, but also improving your heart health. So, like, it's not tackling the problem, is it? It's not tackling the problem on education on what to eat, and also like stopping you from eating too much. It's just burning more energy. And if I burn more energy, I know that I'm going to eat more fucking food, because I'm a little fat fuck and I'll happily eat more food. So it's not really tackling the problem. It's just making your metabolism higher.
Yeah, which that begs the question, and this is what I mentioned at the start: is there going to be some weird drug cocktail with this and Ozempic, which is semaglutide? Is that going to be an actual? Is that going to be something that is bulked together, sold off as one thing, and so people are getting it from they're calorie restricting because they're not hungry, but their metabolism is fired up, so they start to lose stuff? How are you going to mitigate muscle loss in all of this? Like, yeah, for the people who need it, it's going to be life saving, but it's just. And I don't say this in a way where I'm trying to insult anybody. I'm trying to say it in a way where the end result isn't going to be as good. It's a fucking lazy way to do it, and you will not get long lasting benefits from it unless you stay on it. And fuck knows what that's going to do to your body long term.
Yeah. So here's my other question then, right? So you mix the two, right? You have semaglutide, which reduces your hunger. Yeah. Semaglutide reduces your hunger, so you eat less food. And then you have Slew PP332, which increases your metabolism. So it acts like you're exercising more. What is the difference between, so you're taking two medications to have those two outcomes. Yeah. What's the difference between that and exercise bulimia, where you exercise so much that you exercise to a point where you burn the same amount of that you've ate that day? So I have my best friend, Sam. He used to be anorexic, right? He used to be anorexic. He had exercise bulimia, where every day in a day he'd go to the gym and made sure he burnt that off in the gym on the treadmill, whatever it was. Obviously got super skinny. What is the difference? What is the difference between that and that?
Imagine I expect people with that condition or some variation of it will be knocking down a doctor's doors for stuff like this, because this is one of the common things. One of the common mantras you hear in the fitness world is eat less, move more. If they made a compound of these two drugs together, you know where you get those little pills that screw together, you can crack them open and the powder comes out. So in my mind, they're the two different parts from the shell. On the shell, I can almost see in my mind's eye printed. One side would say eat more, the other would be move less, but it's just in a powdered form that you just whack in your gob and swallow.
Yeah.
Because that is essentially what those two would be doing together. One would be replicating the sensation of moving more, and the other one would be enforcing the sensation, the action of eating less. So it's a whole world of psychological fuckery as well. It's gonna. Oh yeah, I was going to go off on one then, but I'm not going to. It's in terms of what we were talking about in the last episode, we're going so far off the rails of our human evolution that we are probably just creating a whole new species of human eventually. If you like extrapolate this out to just 200 years time, we are going to be such a vastly different race of beings. Our great grandchildren, if we ever have them, fuck knows what kind of world they are going to see.
Mate, I'm already a different kind of human, you know what I mean?
Yes, you are. Midget comes to mind.
Oh, whoa. Hey, we don't like that word.
Hey, no, we don't. We don't. But yeah, that's like great. I'm glad that people are finding out what this stuff is, but as with anything, it's a company that is going to look to turn a profit on it at some point. There's going to be problems, but it's going to be shouted about how good it is as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
And I wonder if it's a performance answer as well. It has to be, because they also observed that the compound allowed normal weight mice, to run for 70% longer and 45% further than mice not receiving the drug. That's interesting in itself, to be honest. But what are the repercussions of that? So yeah.
Guys, I would love to hear your opinions on this. Anybody listening, what are your opinions on this drug? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? We love everybody's opinion and love to debate it. So yeah, please tell us what you think and what you think the future is going to look like. As you know, we like to speculate on everything.
Oh wow! Quickly, just before we move on,
Yeah.
okay. Boris says the greatest hope for the new drug might be in maintaining muscle mass during weight loss, which often threatens lean muscle mass, or during aging when the body naturally responds less strongly to exercise. But it will take more research to understand the drug's full potential. This may be able to keep people healthier as they age. In other work the Boris lab is about to publish, the researchers have seen evidence that the compound can also treat heart failure in mice by strengthening the heart muscle. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to give this to Brian Johnson's team to work out how it actually could fit into a healthy living lifestyle.
Yep, definitely.
But yeah, like you said, if you've got any questions or input about this, I'd love to know, especially if you've got a medical background. If you have, you must hate some of the shit we come out with. But on our Spotify page, you can leave comments and stuff on there. So please feel free to do, or any of our social medias. That'd be great. But guys, let's head over to the hot topic right now. And my hot topic today is, what is the difference between a workout and a workout program? So the results I'm after is to have you understand the difference between doing something versus doing something structured, because they're two very different things. One is just picking up a bow and arrow and shooting the arrow. The other one's picking up a bow and arrow and shooting at a target. My drivers are to make sure you aren't wasting your time, and the actions is I'm going to lay out the differences so you can assess where you are and assess what is better for you. Because I'm not saying workouts are bad, I'm just saying there's a time and a place for them. So the definition of workout in American English, and I'm going to say this the other way around from what it's written. So workout is any strenuous exercise or work, etc. And the other meaning is a training session or exercise to maintain or improve one's physical or athletic skill. Now, for me, that second one I just said is more important than the first one. So I'm just going to go over them again. The first one is any strenuous exercise or work, etc. So that's anything. But the other one, a training session of exercises to maintain or improve one's physical or athletic skill. There's a world-known saying in every single industry: what gets measured gets managed. Okay, so if you are measuring any element or tracking any element, if you're looking to improve in anything like that, then you need a program with baselines of which to measure against. And that is pretty much a fundamental difference between just having a workout and a workout program. But let's start with workouts. When is a standalone workout a good idea? Josh, as always, interrupt and just, give your say on any of this. But so, first of all, in some group sessions, because one of the benefits of just single workouts is that it allows people to be sociable with exercise, which I think is one of the most powerful things in the world. If you can add a social element to exercise, I think that is going to make you way more likely to show up, and it's going to give you a really enjoyable time of it as well.
Yeah, definitely. This is something we added into the app for anybody that's doing it with groups. So you have this on demand. If you have the opportunity to do it with people, then great. We run group sessions, and people just turn up every now and again on top of their PTs just to come in and have that little social aspect and have a bit of fun. What I like about group sessions as well is sometimes you don't realize, if you've been training on your own for a little while, doing your own thing, and then you go to a group session and then you're like, oh, I haven't really been pushing myself that hard in the gym. And then you get in there and you get quite competitive with some bloke from the other side of the room who's lifting just like similar weight to you are. And you're like, oh shit, I need to work a bit harder. Yeah, this is what's going on. And it gives you that little boost sometimes to like push it a bit more in the gym.
Yeah, that's actually a really good shout. I do like that. It can definitely push you harder in those group sessions when it comes to a workout. So the next point, as well as group sessions, as a complete beginner, because sometimes you don't know what you want or what your goals are. So just get your ass to some gym or some village hall or something like that.
Mm,
Sign up for a class, like do power hoop, do Zumba, do Tai Bo. I don't really care. Just do anything to find out what you like, how you like building your body or moving your body, and start setting a baseline for yourself.
mm. Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's really good for finding, isn't it? Just finding out what it is you're
Hmm.
enjoying. If Because there is so much out there. Like you said, there's bloody power hoop and body pump and all of these things, just lifting weights. If you like powerlifting, calisthenics,
Hmm.
CrossFit, all of that stuff, give it a go. Give it a try. I always say that to everybody. Like, I have no prejudice to any of it, maybe apart from
Hmm.
like a couple of things. But yeah, give it a go. Play around.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of value to that, which we'll get to actually in a second. By the way, yeah, I just wanted to, excuse me, I wanted to preface this. Me and Josh are speaking about this from having delivered thousands of hours of both. By the way, we've done workouts, which mainly in a group setting, and we've
Mm.
done PT, which is very structured workout programs. So we've done thousands of hours of both of these, and this is just like our observations from these thousands of hours. So yeah, if you're a complete beginner, then go find something you enjoy and use that
Mm-hmm.
as a springboard into something else. Now, my next one is as a filler session, and there's two subcategories to this. And the first one is on holiday. So, a lot of people, if they're away, they still actually like going to the gym. One of my old clients, actually from Kent, she has been on holiday recently and she's just posted a load of videos. She's like 60 something and she's like in insanely good shape and she looks like 10 years younger and she's posting video reels of her in the gym working out, like sped up ones, and people are just commenting, "What are you doing? Why are you working out? You're on holiday. Take it easy." And it's just like because this is what I enjoy doing. I was like, "Yes, fair play to you." So, if
Mm-hmm.
you're on holiday and haven't got access to your normal workout routine or your normal equipment, then this is a perfect time to get like a fun workout in that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And like it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody when you're on holiday,
Hmm.
but sometimes I mean, I when I went on holiday to Madeira early in the year, I got a couple of sessions in. I didn't get one in loads, but sometimes you just like if you, especially if you're not really doing much on holiday. You know, if you're going on one of those. Luckily, I was a very active holiday, so I was walking a lot. But I've been on those holidays before where you're not doing out. You're just sat by a pool relaxing, whatever it
Hmm.
is. Those ones, I'm like, actually, I'm itching to do something. I'm itching
Yeah.
to like move. I want to lift some weights or something just to keep me sane.
Hmm. And yeah, if you're and by the way, I didn't touch a weight on my last holiday, but that is partly because I had some weird skin disease thing. But if you enjoy in your normal everyday life getting a pump in the gym and then just going
Mm,
back to work or going back home, just try it next time you're on holiday. See how you feel getting a pump and then going out on the beach. Because then you'll be
mm,
like, oh fuck yeah, this is good. But by all means, don't have to do it. I always say to people, enjoy holiday for what you enjoy because that's what this time is for. And you will feel, ironically, you will feel better if you have a workout anywhere. But yeah, I never enforce that at all on anyone. The next one is similar, but that is traveling for business. So if let's say a couple of weeks of the year you have to go traveling for your business, whether that is abroad or just in country, public transport or driving, then maybe take a TRX or a set of bands or something like that with you and just
mm,
just hit the major muscle groups in random workouts. It doesn't really matter what you do as long as you keep moving, reinforcing the basic human movement patterns.
mm. Yeah, definitely. It is important that we have a lot of clients who have to go away sometimes for business, and especially if they're in the middle of a 12-week program, and then they just stop and don't work out, it can be quite detrimental. So trying to yes, you don't have to do the standard sessions, but taking someone with you just to keep moving and keep active is super important.
Mm. And the last point I've got for standalone workouts is it's a way to try something new. And this is similar to the beginner thing. If you
Mm,
are even if you are a workout nut and you love it, like maybe it's time to change some things up. So again, go try some new things. Go try a calisthenics only class. Go try a
mm,
handstand class. Go try a CrossFit class. Go try anything. Just learn some new skills because you never know. You might find something else that you really enjoy. And just think of your movement your movement base as a library of movements, the more references you can add into that library, the more complete human movement machine you're going to become.
Yeah. The one thing I will add to this as well, just as a
Mm.
standalone workout thing, and that is to test yourself.
Mm.
So if you want to do just like have a tester of like a big disgusting workout or something along those lines, a test is good.
Mm.
It's a standalone every now and again. So it's not something you do often, maybe once a quarter, once a month, whatever it is, having a test workout where you just annihilate yourself, or you're testing lifts or whatever it is you're testing. I
I would
think that's
say
good too.
testing lifts would probably fall into a workout program, to be honest, because it's
It would,
included
yeah,
in
it
the
would, yeah,
structure. But a disgusting fucking one, like let's just
yeah.
see if I can break myself. Then yeah, that I would say is actually probably a good
Mm.
shout. That's not bad at all. So okay, that's all about standalone workouts. So yeah, there are good times to have them in. There's wicked times to have them in, but when is a workout program a good idea? So a workout program is something more structured where you look at the end result, you look at where you are now, and you come up with a plan to get from where you are now to that end result. Now, I'm just going to reel these off all in one, and then me and you can just have a chat about it, Josh, okay?
Mm.
Because this is for any goal, any single fucking goal you have, whether that's fitter,
Mm-hmm.
stronger, healthier, fat loss, muscle gain, or specific performance in any field
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever. All of these things is when a workout program is a good idea. And it doesn't matter how big or small any of these things are either. Having
Mm-hmm.
a plan is going to get you more effective results than just doing a standalone workout every now and then. So, this is
Yep.
like a difference between going to a group personal training class or a single PT class. This is like the difference between PT and just rocking up for a random group session,
Yeah.
like a boot camp or something like that. This is what the difference
Mm-hmm.
is. So, anything where you want to make directed improvements to your physical performance or your physical aesthetics, you're going to need a workout program for it.
Yeah, definitely. And that's it, right? It's all about progression, and a well designed 12-week program, for instance, is going to have progression built into it and your goal built into it over time. Most people when they first start off, and it's not so much a thing anymore actually, but it was when I first started training. It was be like, oh, this arm workout was great, or this Arnie chest and back day is something that I'm doing today, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the Tom Platz leg day, and then I'm trying out all these individual workouts, which are fine, but having a proper program where I'm progression is planned into it, and I'm following the same kind of workouts for a few weeks and then improving on them as I go through, that's you're going to get way more out of that than you are
Mm-hmm.
going to just doing a random workout that you found online that looks cool.
Mm. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And again, those sorts of things they can be really fun. Like to plan your
Mm.
whole training around workouts, you find that they can be fun. But if you actually want to get anywhere serious with it, you're going to have to refine all of that into some sort of strategic program where you. And so, if you're looking at strength in particular, you're going to have to start looking at the weights you're lifting, recording it, and then working on the
Mm.
reps and the weight in particular. If it's aesthetics, then it's how do I change the rep ranges to get the most out of my results and get the biggest growth in that given time. It's the same with anything. Some people are genetically blessed and they might just do it by luck. Okay, they might just
Mm.
end up finding the workouts that luckily get them to where they want to be. But only people who are genetically blessed, to be honest, are going to get those results. If you want to guarantee those results, you are going to need to have a clear cut plan. And usually, like 12 weeks at least, is how long you want to try out a specific type of program for.
Yeah, it's a good amount of time really to see some good progress and get enough amount of change in there.
And we do go through this all the time. And it's not to take anything away from workouts. So another thing that we offer in the RDA app is, and we actually suggest this, let's say you opt for one of our 3-day-a-week options, which is still 12 weeks, but you're doing it 3 days a week. But let's say you get to a weekend and you think, oh, you know what? I'm going out tonight. I want to get a little bit of a pump. Then you just pick one of the random workouts that's on the app, or you go find a workout on YouTube or something like that. And then you go do that and you go get that extra pump. Definitely not saying don't do that. There's we depending on how many times you're already working out, then we might like advise on certain things, but there's no harm in it. At the end of the day, for general people, general everyday people, then yeah, there's definitely going to be no harm in that at all.
Yeah, do it. There's no issue at all. I think it's a great idea. If you've got the time to be more active, then be more active. The only thing I will say is if you're on a program that's like 6 days a week, for instance, and you're doing
Mm-hmm.
that, and you're nailing it every session, and you already got everything locked in, then just be mindful if you're going to do an extra workout that maybe you need to eat more food, or maybe you need to make sure you're resting if you're already doing a hard plan. Especially the ones I find it with, especially is powerlifting. Yeah. So people that are doing really high percentage strength work generally need to be on it with their rest.
Mm-hmm.
They need to make sure they're getting rest in, because your body just can't handle doing too much because you're fucking nailing it. So just be mindful if you do already training within like limits and rest is programmed in there. Be careful. But other than that, just fucking work out. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I want to echo what you just said there. If you really are pushing the boundaries on some things, your rest times, that includes intra workout and outside the workout, your rest times are just as important as the workouts you're actually doing. So yeah, depending on how hard you're pushing yourself in your workouts and in each week, then make sure you are getting enough rest to recover from that shit, and food.
Yep, plenty of food.
But yeah, guys, just as a quick recap on this hot topic, that is the difference between workouts and the workout programs. And the inspiration for this was because we actually, me and Josh actually had a meeting with a lady a couple of weeks ago. And in that meeting, she said, well, what's the difference between what we do as personal trainers and the programs we write versus something like Joe Wicks does? And no disrespect to Joe Wicks at all. Like, he's made such a big impact on especially this country and during the pandemic and stuff. But the difference is when you're chasing a specific kind of goal, just doing the workouts isn't really going to cut it. And you'd be lucky to get the results. Whereas if you actually follow a plan that's designed specifically for your goals, you're pretty much guaranteed if you follow the right steps.
Yes. Exactly that.
Yeah, and I think that's a difference. Some people just don't really see what the difference is, what the value is in structure around a program. So anything else to add to that at all, Josh?
I think you've nailed it, man. Follow a
There we
program.
go.
If you're wanting good results, follow a program.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got both on the app. So yeah, we're just going to plug ourselves on the app. We have 14 programs to cater to pretty much any goal. We've got 3 and 5 day versions. There's also a couple of 6-day versions on there as well. And there is also plenty of workouts on there. And these things are going to be updated regularly, guys. So for those of you on it, just give us a shout. Let us know how you're going. Josh, over to you.
If you're American, right, when you go in the bathroom, and you're American when you come out of the bathroom, what are you when you're in the bathroom?
I don't know.
European.
For fuck's sake. My mind was going down a merry. I was like, I don't know. I was going to say a merry in the can or something like that, but I was like,
No, European.
European boy. Very good, very good. Where can they find us, Josh?
They can find us in lots of fucking places, mate.
All those places, guys, that's where you can find us.
No, find us at The Idea System on Instagram, TikTok. If you want to ask any questions, any topics on the podcast, go to the Lifting Lounge. It's our Facebook group, the Lifting Lounge. We are also on the internet. I was meant to say we also have a website, but I said we are also on. So we're also on the internet, and our website is www.theliftinglounge.com or theRDAsystem.com. And we are on YouTube. And if you're watching me now, hello, look at my beautiful face. The Lifting Lounge on YouTube.
So I don't know if I ever tell you this, Josh, but when you say that, look at my beautiful face, because the internet connection is a little bit sketchy, I can literally just see pixels. Like whenever you move, that is all I can see is
Yeah.
pixels.
Nice.
It looks like I'm playing like a N64 game or something like that. It's like the graphics from GoldenEye and that. But
Nice.
when this is all uploads, it's all HD and people can see you in your beautiful perfection. It is lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Guys, please leave us ratings, reviews, notification bells, leave us comments. We thrive on your feedback, so get in contact with us in the group, on the socials, all of that stuff. Leave likes and comments on the YouTube ones. In fact, just listen to us on every single platform you can, even if you watch and listen to us both. Like, I want you to do everything. You don't just stop with one listen through. Listen to us on Spotify, then watch us on YouTube, then listen to us again on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't want 3 hours and 30 minutes of the same content? It's perfect.
Yeah, please.
Do it.
Do it.
Until
And
next
send me
time,
money.
ladies and gentlemen, and send us money. Yeah. We will see you. You'll get stuff in return for it, by the way.
No.
Josh has got an OnlyFans page. We will see you on episode 82.
Bye.
Bye.